Obviously, extremely disappointed with the outcome of tonight. We knew this would be a highly emotional, game. We knew that we were going to get their best shot, throughout it, and got to give credit to Virginia. They made the plays that were necessary, throughout the course of the game. They started fast, took advantage of some of the mistakes we had early. We turned the ball over. Had some big penalties that set us behind the chains. Just did not get off to the start that we needed to have. But I was pleased with the way our guys responded throughout it. To be able to come back, to be able to take a lead, and then unfortunately give up the touchdown right there before half. Gotta give credit to back. We ran through big collision, but obviously areas where we have to be better. Defensively, we got to continue to take advantage of opportunities to be able to get off the field. The thought, just too many drives that were extended throughout in the third and fourth downs. I was pleased with the takeaways. I thought guys, did rise up and they made plays throughout. Obviously we got to continue to impact the quarterback. Obviously we were able to do a good job in the run game, against us, and they made one more play than what we did, and there were multiple opportunities throughout that contest that any different result on probably 20-30 plays, it's going to be a different outcome at the end. But that's football, and when you come on the road, obviously it was a Friday night, big game for all of us, being our conference opener, and for all the things you felt. They were having plenty of passion, and the crowd was impactful. But for us, we gotta focus on the things that we can control and go out there and start better. And but I'm pleased with the response I saw from our guys, but obviously it wasn't enough there at the end. So you got to go back to work. We lost first conference game. We have nothing but an opportunity in front of us here this next week, in a huge game for us, for our program, for university. Getting back home against a very talented team, and there's some big steps that we need to take as a football team, just in how we handle that environment, some of those emotions, and make sure that our execution and discipline is what it needs to be throughout the course of 60+ minute games. So I know our guys will respond, and we got to go put everything we have into this week that's ahead.
During the review of Deuce's catch, were you able to see a replay? Did you feel like?
I tried to. Looking up at the board, you couldn't really see the feet, and just how everything timed with it. Thought there was possession and a couple steps, but it was hard for me to see exactly where the feet were.
What do you attribute the defensive line struggles to in the game, and Virginia's pretty consistent success moving the chains?
Yeah, I thought Virginia did a good job of staying multiple in what they did. With the different run schemes. Obviously it was a good offense. It's one that's been averaging a lot of yards and obviously a lot of points throughout. But we have to be better, and they were able to create some seams. So there were some times where we weren't all on the same page of where we needed to be, and that's something that has to get corrected. Those were some of those things that we talked about, the last few weeks, where you play a team that can expose that, and obviously the challenges, it creates plenty of levels of challenges throughout a game, and that showed up, and we've got to be better.
What did you learn from Tommy today, seeing him on the road, the plays he made? That's a perfect throw to Deuce. Whether it was a catch or not, that's a perfect throw in a big moment. And then obviously the throw to Randy too. What did you learn from him?
I thought he responded throughout. They had, we had the early interception, off the tip. Those are things that, and it's we'll continue to work, and do all that we can in that. But I mean, he's a competitor, and he did what he needed to do to help lead the team back when we were down, and obviously put us in a good position there late. With some big plays, some with his feet, some with his arm. But I've got a lot of confidence in what he'll do and where we'll go from this because of the examples that were put out there tonight. And I love coaching him, and you feel his passion, desire, and obviously he too has areas of growth that's in front of him. But I believe that he'll do what's necessary to go take that step.
Are you concerned with the pass rush at this point, or do you feel like they're very close to making plays that are putting themselves in position?
I thought there was times, where I thought Virginia did a good job mixing, getting the ball out quick. We were able to create some pressure, but just not finishing. Whenever they tried more of their intermediate passing game, we were there, but they did a good job getting the ball out. Yes, we've got to do a better job of creating a pass rush, and we've got to make sure that we're finishing, on the quarterback when we get those opportunities. But that's going to be a big focus for all things that are ahead.
Jerry?
In the running game, edge control, trying to contain that running game and the quarterback was like a problem.
Yeah, no, I mean there was definitely some issues that showed up where we've got to be better, and give credit to Virginia. I thought they did some good things formationally and just the different ways that they were attacking, trying to create leverage on the edge, and but obviously we have to be better.
Dave?
Mike, you guys have had such a successful first start to the season, and as you mentioned, a huge game next week. Did you feel like there was maybe a lack of focus or readiness for the start of this game with the way that things went early on?
I mean, it's when you come on the road, you've got to play disciplined football, and the thing we talked about is our focus, controlling the things that we can control, and we had some self-inflicted issues there early in the game that you can't have, and I don't think any bit of it was looking past. Or I knew, just with the environment, it was going to be. I knew what their energy would be. I knew what our energy was going to be, and I don't think it was anything from a lack of preparation, but we did not execute like we needed to at the start of this game.
You talked last year about the team did not do a great job of responding to adversity. What have you seen from the team through this first month that gives you confidence that they will this time around?
Yeah, I think we've seen it early in the season. In the first game, you saw guys that responded when things didn't necessarily go exactly how we wanted it to. You saw that tonight, and we did not finish with the outcome that we desired. But you saw a response, and we have to. We've got to find a way to play a cleaner football game, to be better in the task that we're asked to do, and our overall execution in those moments. But when you're playing against a talented group or a team that's capable, it magnifies all those things that are self-inflicted, and we've got to get better from that. But I believe in how this team. I know how they work. I believe in what they'll do, and I thought even tonight, they showed a response. It just wasn't good enough there at the end.
It seemed like some of the the physicality we saw from the defense against Alabama, where they seemed like they drove ball carriers back a lot. It seemed like Virginia did a better job finishing their runs. Is that technique things, or what do you think?
Yeah, I thought some of it was technique. You got to some of that running back. That's his MO. You come into the game. He's done that in every game that he's played. Where you better drive your feet through him. You better wrap up, and you need to have a lot of our color jerseys getting on him because he's a talented, tough runner. I'll have to go back and watch it. I didn't think that we were not playing physical, but I thought there were some missed opportunities in that. And we've got to be the enforcer. We've got to knock people back on contact, and we got to get more people to the ball.
The fourth down attempt on the second to last possession in regulation, were you guys think hurt? Was it a botched play? Was it defended well?
It was defended well. It was there was play action with multiple options, and we didn't get quite the release that we wanted with one of the receivers, and then they covered it well. So you give credit to them on that. But
Did you think at all about first overtime? I think it was 4th and 3, 4th and 4, big kick by Jake, obviously. Did you think at all about going for it there?
I mean, maybe if a couple yards, I mean, if it was a one situation, one possible two, but, when they're, I felt good about, Jake in that situation. It was, the play before was so very close, and, ultimately it's just, Jake answered the call to what he needed to do. We forced, forced the next overtime, but yeah, I mean, it was close, but.
Are we time for two more, Kirk?
Did you have an idea? Is your team okay? It seemed like that field form happened pretty fast. Was pretty reckless. A lot happening at once. Do you know? Is anybody hurt or?
No, I mean, I'm not sure of any issues. I mean, we got everybody in the locker room, and so not sure of any issues.
All right.
Did you, I mean, so many of the guys on this team have never been in situations like they were in tonight on the road in a big game that means so much. How much can they learn from this, even good and bad, and what gives you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's twofold. I mean, we've got, a good number of guys that have been in challenging, atmospheres and played in big games, but this is our first time with a lot of guys together here, and so what you do. In this moment, it's a short week. Obviously we had to prepare for that. And when you come in and you play a talented group, and where you have some negative plays that show up, I mean, don't let one negative become another. And I thought our guys, they did respond, throughout the course of the game. But for some of the younger guys that maybe this isn't their most extensive opportunities that they've got a chance to play, and it is an extremely disappointing outcome. This team has done a really good job in the way that they've gone about their business and work in preparation. But whether it's atmosphere, whether it's a game, whether it's an offense, individual, defense, what they're doing, can't get distracted by those circumstances. You got to make sure that we're getting the call, we're executing our job, we're going and putting our best on display. And there was just too many plays where that didn't happen tonight. And so we all have to take ownership. Coaches, players, everybody involved. We look at we get a chance to see the film. There were things we saw throughout the course of the game, and you got to fix it. And I thought we saw that done throughout. It just it was wasn't done well enough to get the win.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.